The uphill climb of Matthew. Matthew was a young man of 20, and the world he knew was small, dusty, and often hungry. He lived in a tiny one-room shack on the edge of the city with his grandmother. They were poor, so poor that sometimes the biggest adventure of the day was finding enough firewood to cook a simple meal of rice and beans. But Matthew had a secret weapon, something stronger than the iron lock he didn't own. A dream, not a small wish, but a huge, brightly shining goal. Matthew didn't just want to be comfortable. He wanted to be rich. He wanted a life where his grandmother would never have to worry about cold or hunger again. He pictured it often: a clean, sunny house and enough money to buy all the books he could read. Matthew knew dreams don't pay bills, so he worked. He took every job he could find. In the morning, he was up before the sun, loading crates of vegetables at the city market. The work was heavy and the pay was tiny, just enough for the day's food. In the afternoon, he sometimes washed cars or swept floors at a small diner. His hands were always rough and tired, but his mind was alert. He realized quickly that hard work alone wasn't enough. Many people worked hard and were still poor. He needed to be smart. One day, while stacking wooden crates, he saw a delivery truck driver complaining about how hard it was to find good, cheap fruit boxes. A little light bulb went off in Matthew's head. He remembered an old abandoned wood workshop a few blocks from his shack. He spent his meager savings, all $5, on old nails and a small rusted saw. Every evening, instead of resting, Matthew went to the workshop. He would collect the discarded scraps of wood that the real carpenters threw away. Using the wood and his few tools, he began to build simple, strong fruit crates. His first few attempts were wobbly and ugly, but he kept trying. Finally, he had built 10 good crates. They were not perfect, but they were sturdy. The next morning, he dragged them all the way to the market. He found the same delivery driver who had been complaining. "Sir," Matthew said, his voice a little shaky, "I have strong crates, better than the cheap ones, and I can sell them to you for less." The driver looked at the crates, then at Matthew's tired but hopeful face. He saw the quality of the work and the desperation in the young man's eyes. He agreed to buy all 10. Matthew walked away with a little more money in his pocket than he had made all week loading crates. More importantly, he walked away with a rush of excitement. He had not just earned money, he had created it. Matthew didn't stop there. He used the money from the crates to buy more nails and a better saw blade. He started asking the fruit sellers at the market what kind of crates they really needed. He listened carefully. Some needed them taller, some needed handles. Matthew used the information to make his product better. He was still loading crates and washing cars to eat, but every spare hour was spent billing. His tiny business, Matthew's sturdy crates, was growing slowly. He was his own boss, worker, salesman, and delivery man. There were many days he wanted to quit. Sometimes the crates wouldn't sell, or a bigger workshop would start selling cheaper boxes. Doubt was a heavy blanket that tried to smother his dream. His grandmother would watch him work late by the weak light of a single lamp and remind him, "Matthew, my boy, the seed doesn't grow in a day. You must water it." 4 years passed. Matthew was now 24. He was no longer working at the city market. He had hired 3 older men who were also struggling to find work, and they helped him build crates. They had moved out of the dusty shack and into a small rented workshop with real machines. Matthew was not a millionaire, not yet, but he was rich in a different way. He had a growing business, a reputation for being honest, and most importantly, he had bought his grandmother a small, clean apartment with a little patch of sun for her flower pots. One afternoon, sitting in his new simple office, he looked out the window at the crates his workers were loading onto a truck. He thought back to the boy with only $5 and a rusty saw. The road to riches was still long and steep. But Matthew understood the secret now. Being poor was not a death sentence. It was just a slow, hard start. His success wasn't a lucky accident. It was the result of dream plus hard work plus the wisdom to learn and be better every single day. He had replaced empty pockets with a full, ambitious future. Thank you.